Boom. Live. All right. Can you believe it's 11/11, 2024? Like 4 years, just, Trump gets into office. He got in 2016. We got plagued with COVID. New president gets in illegally, unlawfully. Yeah, this election was too smooth. I just want to put that out there. Anybody kind of feel what I'm feeling? Like we're being set up? If you don't, great. If you believe that life is hunky and dory and great. I've been doing a lot of personal reflecting and researching, and I think we are in for a wild ride. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing how it kind of breaks out over the next few years. So we'll see. But I don't hope for the worst. So don't think that. I hope for the best. I just think that with all the moves and the counter moves, it is on like Donkey Kong. And on that note, hello, my fellow cryptocurrency holders. Congratulations. In this last few days, we've seen 25% gains across the board. 25. Can you all hear me okay? Everything good? Let me make sure I got my mic on. Everything's good there. I see the mic rolling. Went too quietly. No, I'm live over there too. We're good. Thank you. What's up, Hep? What are you doing, brother? Can you say NFL? Not for long when you're calling calls like that. Do you remember that coach that told that ref that? You ain't gonna be in the NFL. You know what NFL stands for? It says not for long when you're making calls like that. Anyway, we just had an opportunity to talk to the NFL or a representative of the NFL today, so that was kind of nice. Anyway, guys, so check it out. Crypto's going through the roof. And this is 3 days. And they've already made the decision. Let's just talk about a little bit of shop, just if you're all just trying to get into the game on crypto and all that. It went well. It went well. They said yes. We're learning about the NFL too, but it went well. Anyway, so crypto is just getting started. And I hope you have been listening for the last several years because we finally got here. We're here. We're at the bull run. And the position and timing couldn't be better. Market's at 44K, gold is at 27, 28, silver's at 31. Silver still is the best possible way that you can make money outside of real money, outside of gold and silver. I do not suggest investing in diamonds. I've never suggested, you never heard me say that. And the reason is they are able to grow diamonds, which is naturally given the real diamonds, natural diamonds, a lower value. I'm a big proponent of 20, 22, 18, 20, 22, 24 karat gold. Love it. Why? Because it's real money and it hedges against the downward spiral. I have people in my life to this day. Why do you buy that stuff? What is it? It's just a metal. They don't understand it. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious? And I kind of understand because I watch guys literally on the streets in New York. Would you like this bar of chocolate or this 10 ounces of silver? And people are grabbing the chocolate. 9 out of 10 times. They're taking $1 over 10 ounces of silver, $350 because they don't know any better. Oh my God, what is our world economics obviously has not been trained in school. The understanding of how to run a family is not being trained in school. I think the only thing that we're getting trained in public school is that body parts are interchangeable. And I don't mean sexually, but yeah, they do that too. I mean that you can actually take your body parts off and become a woman if you wish. But and for the record, I'm not trying to issue hate speech. So everybody calm down. If you got an issue with, your gender, that's your issue. It doesn't need to be everybody else's. It's your issue. It doesn't mean we all need to call you a certain thing. And, when you talk like this and demand to be called a woman, come on, man, stop it. Stop it. Come on, smack, smack. Don't ask me to call you, refer to you by your pronouns. But you know what? They're arresting people in Europe right now, in England specifically, for not calling people by their proper pronouns. Oh crap. Oh crap. And that's where it always starts. It always starts over there, and they try to bring it over here by force. And it's the same thing with the markets. The markets start over across oceans, and you watch the market collapse and collapse and collapse, and it's going to get here any at sometime in the future after you watch it somewhere else. But so we have cryptos taken off. Dogecoin, the world's most useless coin that is pushed by Elon Musk like none else, went up 34% yesterday. Doge. And I thought I'd taken all my because I doubled down on XRP. I thought I took all of my meme coins, my altcoins, and cashed them in and went hard. And I didn't. I just did Bitcoin. I don't believe in Bitcoin. I know y'all do. Even if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, I'm not putting a dime personally into Bitcoin. Just be very careful. That's all I'm gonna say. There's many people that believe the narrative that Bitcoin is the algorithm used to create Bitcoin. Listen to me. The algorithm used to create Bitcoin and the white paper that was actually issued by Bitcoin or by Shitoki, whatever his name is, the guy, the creator of the Bitcoin, has been deemed to be a patent from the NSA and started by the NSA. So you do with that whatever you wish. But there's a lot to say when Bitcoin becomes the first NFT, when Bitcoin gets to be able, or excuse me, ETF, when Bitcoin gets to be traded first before an ISO 20022 compliant coin, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, the guys that are the ETF holders are in control of Bitcoin. And they can control it up, they can control it down. All I got to say is if you hear these guys say buy, sell. Anytime you hear somebody and you're at the top of the euphoric state and it's hyperbaric and you got a lot of money in your account that you never saw before, and they're saying buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. And part of the things that we're going to be doing in the next hopefully week or two is I'm going to create a quick little video for the VIP members on how to sell cryptocurrency at a moment like this, and make sure that you're putting it into for me, I'd be putting it into a more stable coin, USDT. I can't wait till real USD is out by Ripple. Ripple is the creator of XRP. But basically, listen, guys, I sold Bitcoin and Ethereum because they're the establishment. Yes, they have the deals. Yes, they're in control. But if they're in control one way, they could be used for the purposes to steal the wealth of many in the world and to crash it. Now, it's not going to happen for quite a bit. And so you're going to see Bitcoin getting to measurable places like million, $2 million. But that just means that it's gone 10x, 15x. And I see that, and that's great for a lot of people. I see that over the next several years for Bitcoin. I don't want to place my dollars in Bitcoin. I'd rather place it in something that I've seen the SEC attack and that I've seen the SEC lose to. And that's why I'm double down in XRP. There's XRP, XLM, XDC. I hold about 80% of everything I have is XRP. That is saying a lot People out there are diversify this, that, and the other. After you keep studying and studying and studying, you know where XRP is going. Today's at 62 cents. We're up 15% on the week. And that's not bad, but I don't think XRP's ever been a volatile hyperbolic up and down. But there's a couple of white papers that just came out that I want to share with you guys, specifically the VIP members more in depth later on in a week or two, that were all the what ifs and all the scenarios and all the plausibilities of what could happen, did happen by pulling XRP off the table, by making XRP seriously lose a lot of value because of the SEC, a lot of interest throughout the world, a lot of momentum, a lot was lost, a lot more than the 100 million, 150 million that they spent on attorney's fees to beat the SEC, a lot more. And so you're now holding, listen to me, if you bought XRP because we told you to, or for whatever reason, and I'm not concerned about giving full disclosure, I'm doing this for entertainment purposes only. I don't care. And I don't say I don't care because I'm not afraid. I just know who I am. The bottom line is XRP is a valuable, probably the single most valuable currency on the face of the earth in the future. And a long time ago, like 5 years ago, no, 6 years ago, I started doing the numbers of what it would take because there's 100 billion issued now. They burnt a few million or a few billion. But the banks own 98% of all of XRP. Listen to what I just said. The banks own 98% of all XRP. What does that mean for you? Well, why would they do that? Well, XRP is the only way to move money internationally like this for no money, little or no money. Fees are like 0.0002. So you're looking at being able to move like 100 million for 50 cents, kind of a thing, like ridiculous. And instantly from one currency on the ledger through Ripple, through XRP to another country, to another currency instantaneously. Well, a company, they did a write-up on all the plausible scenarios and what ifs and could haves, and basically did what I did 6 years ago, and stating how much the valuation of XRP could be worth. It went from $10 on the immediate this year to long-term $536,000 per coin. Now, $536,000 per coin is like having 100 trillion under its, meaning moving 100 trillion through XRP. That's the equivalent. Now, let me explain something to you. Excuse me, 100 quadrillion, not trillion, 100 quadrillion. So you look at like what we have today and how many trillions are just in digital currencies. It's very, very small. It's just a couple trillion. And you look at what total money is being moved in the marketplace, and you look at like Morgan Stanley, you look at these major firms out there who just a few years ago said Bitcoin's a piece of dung, don't buy it, and then they buy everything in the back end after they crashed to 20,000 per coin. That's what they do. They don't want any of their traders to trade in crypto. Why? Because there's no money to be made on it. You can't, unless Bitcoin's an ETF, you're not going to be able to make money on it. And so why would Bitcoin be the first to be able to be approved by the SEC to be traded? BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard. Why? Because it's, when you look at it, it's their coin. So why would they, in a marketplace, get everybody excited about it and want people to invest in it and let it go slowly up so they could pump their value? What could be something that goes wrong if Bitcoin gets pumped up and they hold the majority shares of Bitcoin and they dump? They dump when it's super high. Bitcoin could crash overnight and it could steal the wealth of an entire nation. They've already tested this in foreign countries where making Bitcoin the reserve currency for the country. That's done. If you didn't know this, this has already been done. It could be something that is introduced on a more broad, wide scale if they understand the controls and get the controls down further. I think that there's going to be a Fed coin here. I think there's going to be a lot of coins here, and there's going to be a lot of different currencies, but they're going to try to figure out how to tap you on everything. And so this is why we need to stay private. This is why we need to conduct all of our business through foundations. This is why everything, every account is all structured up and set up on the private side. So they have no jurisdiction over those accounts. None. Zip, zero, sorry. And I mean that. And so as we're getting ready, and guys, we got a long time. You're going to see markets go up. You're going to see XRP, and I see XRP. Let's just say it gets to $10, and that's a small token, 10, $20. Small token of what it could get to. Right now, everybody's going to be cashing out. They're going to be boom, running. Let's cash in all of our, that's what the banks want. See, the banks need, I figured about $1,000 per coin in order for the banks to have enough capital to do what it needs to do on a worldwide basis. However, if we have what is called reverse inflation, where you see the capital markets, you see the stock markets, you see the real estate markets, everything going up. Real estate market's already gone up a whole lot. Stock market's at 44,000. How is the stock market at 44,000 under Joe Biden, under Kamala Harris? How? How? Well, immigrants, 5,000 per month, a cell phone and a place to live. How? Because we're in an inflationary period, and what the markets are doing is responding to the devaluation of the dollar. So the markets are going to keep going up. It's going to give the impression that we're making money, but the valuation of the USD is going to tank, and they're going to play that out like you wouldn't believe. They're going to say, hey, you're making all these millions, and they're going to be putting opportunities. Let's get you on the Fed coin. Let's get you on this. Let's move everybody over to digital currency and make sure that you have a digital ID. And if you don't, you're not going to have a job. You're not going to have health insurance. You're not going to have all these things. And we get a half of everything that comes in no matter what. And so I don't know exactly how the play is going to go out, but I do know they need to take control of the United States of America. And to a degree they have. And I get there's a new superhero team out, and Elon Musk looks a lot like Iron Man in the middle there. And I get everybody thinks that they're going to save the world. I think, you know what? Be very careful, guys. I think Elon is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I think he's in it for himself. I think there's a lot of Satanism in his wife, his ex-wife, whatever you want to call her. And I can prove that. Just be careful. Technocracy. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. There's more controls in the company heads of tech companies over the world than there will ever be in governments. There's more controls in pharmaceutical heads of companies in this world than there will ever be. Even term limits is not going to save what we have as a problem here in this nation. Even Kennedy taking that position, boy, you better get Kennedy a lot of armor. You better get that guy like some thick, bulletproof, get him his own beast. And I mean the Cadillac Escalade. And oh yeah, you better protect Kennedy. You better put him under secret service because they will jack him up. You got doctors being killed just for saying, hey, I got a cancer cure. What do you think they're going to do to Kennedy? See, you guys got to understand something. If you never heard this before, and I'm saying this to you for the first time, let's hug it out. Okay. For all you pharmaceutical lovers, we're hugging it out right now. We're doing this out of love. I don't hate you. There's some pharma, there is some science that is helpful for our country, for our people. But if pharma, just let's do it softly, was healing people, they'd be out of business. Straight up. Stings. I know it stings. 4 billion prescriptions a year in this nation. If any of that was helping people, people can get off diabetes, people can get off heart-related diseases, get off these pills. People can get off, high cholesterol is not an issue. That's already been proven. I'm sorry, guys. Look, everything you're being trained, it's completely reversed. Now let's get back to crypto. So that's where the Quan is made, right? Everybody wants to think about all their money. So the average account went up 25% in the last few days in crypto, broad-based accounts, meaning people with a basket of currencies. They probably went up a little more. I went up a little less because I'm holding a lot in the future of what I believe is going to be the biggest thing this world has ever seen. XRP. Do it with me. XRP. Pound your leg. XRP. XRP. Okay, I'm just trying to motivate you. Because if you haven't done it yet, it's not too late. 62 cents is cheap. It's cheap. So what's going to happen? They're going to bring it up to 10, 20 bucks. They're going to try to crash it, get everybody out of it, flush out the rest of the 1.5% of the people in there. There's going to be a lot. 80, 90% are going to believe it. Oh, no, it's forever gone. We're never going to be able to do it. And they're going to try to make it illegal, something hard to buy, just like they did before with the, you know, taking it off all the exchanges. They're going to make it hard to buy. And very few people are going to get involved in it. They're going to keep talking negative about it. And then they're going to do a revaluation of the coin itself. And the revaluation is going to overnight go through the roof. Overnight. Why? Because the dollars, the Fed coins, all the other stuff is going to be valueless. And they own XRP. And XRP and its controls are already done. Its contracts are already done. They are being promoted like you wouldn't believe and being attacked by the power structure, because there's multiple power structures here in this world, guys. And yeah, the SEC wants a slice of the pie, and yeah, they just need to keep the low man down and make it so it is the only actual coin in the world that's passed the test and legal. XRP. It's the only currency in the world that's passed the SEC's exam for not being a security. It's the only one that's ever made it. All the other companies the SEC is going after is they're downing them, putting them out of business. They're doing whatever, and a lot of these altcoins are going to be the same thing. They're going to be clowning them. They're going to be smacking them, getting them out of business, and bringing it to a level to where they are in control with just a few coins: XRP, XLM, XTC, HBAR. Anything ISO 20022 compliant. Anybody that has cowtailed and bowed down to the cow. Those are the people that are going to. Those are the coins that are going to make it through. So you're going to see XRP. Like, I'm not going to even move on XRP one coin until 50, 60 bucks. And then I'm probably going to do 10 to 20%. That's it. And then after that, I'm not going to move again until it gets to a $500 level. And then it'll be a 10 to 20%. And then I'm going to wait till it really gets to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. I think XRP can make 10,000. And the reason why I say that is when you look at the way that we have a reverse inflation, where you see a stock market going up, you see valuations in real estate and, these different things going up, 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 up. Remember something, every time, countries are going out of business because they're corporations. Every time a country is going out of business, you'll see pictures of those kids sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars of money that they found all over. And that makes them feel like they're rich. All those little kids standing on stacks of money. If you've ever seen those pictures, I have, where those dollars are worthless, but a week earlier, they were worth a lot more. 2 weeks earlier, a whole lot more. You can crash an entire world and an entire system in minutes these days because we're all digitally connected. So you have to be very careful. Now, I at one time had a lot of money in a crypto account. I could have cashed out, but I was scared I wasn't going to be able to buy XRP again on the last bull run, 2017-ish, 18, 19-ish. But I was too scared to pull out the coin because I was worried about being able to buy back in. I still have those fears. It's okay. It is what it is. But there is coming a time where they're going to do a play. They're going to pump it. It'll be a 20x probably pump, maybe 30x, 40x. That means 40 times its value today. So maybe get to like $20 a coin, and it'll be like quick, really quick. And if you want, and you want to take a 40x return, go for it. I'm a little scared to take a return at that level. Not because I believe that it's going to go down and I'm going to lose money, but because I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to buy it again. I think it's that valuable that they've tried to do everything. I think they're going to legislate XRP out of existence to be able to buy because it'll become the standard that banks use. I could be wrong. I'm just putting a guess out there, and I've never heard anybody say that before. I'm just my own personal guess. I hope I'm wrong. But the reality is, no matter what, XRP's ability to hit 1,000 per coin in the next 10 years is an absolute. And so, being the age that I'm at, looking at this long term as I am, 65, 70 years old, that's a 10 to 15 year play for me, 16, 17-year play for me. I'm not worried about it. And so in 15, 16, 17 years, I've had it on cold storage the whole time, and I just keep seeing the values go up and values go up. My biggest thing is I'm making relationships to offset, move large amounts of capital so I can, pay for everything through the XRP directly. Get into large real estate purchases, different things that are going to be asset enriching, money producing, cash flowing kind of assets. Because you want to diversify. It's digital currency. It's worth nothing, but it's a perception of its value. Real estate is not worth nothing. Real estate has intrinsic value. It's land. But you got to do your deeds right. And by the way, we've got our deed machine 24, 48 hours away from being launched. What do I mean by deed machine? You're going to be able to put in all your information. It'll spit you out the proper deed for your county. So just FYI, coming. So we're going to be taking people on a mass basis in this nation and moving them and their home and their assets into the private. Not everybody believes in being a state citizen, but everybody wants a foundation. Everybody wants to move their property into the private, and we can help you with that. So, but we have a deed machine that we've created. Tomorrow's final testing, so we'll see. Hopefully, we can get it lit up in this week and be able to put it out there and just send it to your friends and family. Tell them to pay the fee and jump in and get the proper deed, or tell them to take a look at yours, go find the stuff and get it done for themselves. I've always said to people, if you're in a living in the private program, you want to see a copy of a real private side deed, just ask us. I'll get you a copy. Do what you can to get it changed out on the deed. And you'll be good to go. Sometimes they return deeds to us. I'm like, dude, come on. You should, there's no grantee on there. There's no this, there's no that. You do have to do a deed right. So you got to take a look at how ours is structured, and you got to make every element of what's over here, over here. So we'll give you a copy of a properly recorded grant deed where you're recording land in proper form, without turning over jurisdiction by being a tenant in common, joint tenant, which is all the style to which we have lost our ability to properly record deeds for ourselves. And so we're going to be helping people out in that regard. So it's exciting for us. We've been working on that for a few months. It's an engine that's done. We're testing tomorrow. So looking forward. All right. I'm going to get to the questions in just a minute. 4:30. I've only been rambling for 30 minutes. And what else do I want to touch on? So if you don't know how to do cryptocurrency purchases, we have people, they're not on our staff, they're not connected, we do not make money on it, but on the inexpensive side, it will help you purchase crypto and get it put into proper form in a hard wallet that you own and you control. Now, if it were me, I'd be getting a foundation first and doing it that way. But you don't have time. But you can purchase crypto right now and then donate it to your foundation before the bull run. But as fast as you can, guys, I've been telling you guys this for a long time. Now we're here. We're in the beginning of a bull run. You know, we're in the very beginning. You're looking at XRP and these different coins going through the roof. Bitcoin hit 80 grand today. It went up almost 20%, 16, 15% ish in the last week. Now that's pretty strong for that coin. XRP, same thing. But we're in the very beginning of a bull run cycle. So start educating yourself, start getting into an understanding of how to purchase crypto and getting it on cold storage. Purchasing crypto, getting it on cold storage. Hard wallet. Hard wallet is something you hold, you control in your hand. And that way you're the bank. Nobody can take your stuff from you and nobody can rip you off. And the only person that could rip you off is they bring a gun to your house and say, transfer all your device to me and da 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 da. That's the only way. But you're going to have to let them know you have it. So shut up. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell your friends, your family what you did. You didn't buy any crypto. You didn't put it on a hard wallet. You're not storing it. You know, people come to my house or all out firefight, all out. And what is it going to be good if I'm dead? You ain't going to get in this house. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to fight for what God owns. I am. And I know I'm talking a lot of crap right now, but I am in for a fight for what God owns. And I've always been that way. I don't think we can own anything here while we're here. So remember, when it happens and you do make a lot of money, it doesn't belong to you. Just remember that and do what you can for God. Go get the tools you need to live your life in a secure format. Go pay off your house, whatever. Buy yourself an okay car, you know, and figure it out. But don't get greedy. Don't get stupid. And you know what I mean. So, guys, look, we're here, beginning of the bull market. A bull market could last for years. It could literally last for years. I don't think it's going to last that long, but you are for sure looking for a long run. It's been long overdue, and it's at the perfect timing. The changing of the guard, potentially, of presidency. By the way, y'all think he's going to get in the office? I don't know. I know that there's a ton of talk about him being taken out using the 14th Amendment for doing what he didn't do on January 6th. You all know insurrection. If you are a part of an insurrection, it disqualifies you from being presidency. Literally, he won in every state where voter protection laws were in place. Every state. Did you look at the red map? The whole map is red. And so people, by a large majority, and by the way, I was one digit off. I said 300, he was 301. I said he would become president. I did. But now you're looking at the next attack, and then these guys are crazy. And this is why they're building fences around their house. This is why Kamala, um, Camel Lady, whatever you want to call her, I don't know what to call her because I don't know what she is. She lies all the time. This is why Kamala is building a large fence around her house. This is why they had built an entire structure around the District of Columbia. They are sealing themselves off, and they have made the majority of the people in the District of Columbia Democrats. I don't know if you know that, but for sure, 92% in DC voted for Kamala? Sure they did. I believe you. That is so believable. It's just whatever. Anyway, so here we are. We're living in the private. We have private healthcare now. I say this all the time now. This is my own marketing. If you need private healthcare, jump into I'm gonna put my office cell phone, private health care. What's happening is we're saving everybody. They're getting out of being underneath the insurance companies. Insurance companies are going to force you to be having digital ID. They're going to force you to have digital ID, or they're going to strip you of your health care. They're going to strip you of your job. They're going to strip you of everything. Just saying. So everything you're doing, your work, your bank accounts, they all need to become private. You need to have the foundation. You need yourself to be a private citizen. You need private health care. You need to move every asset from the public side to the private side. The county recorder's office has a public side and a private side, a registrar and a recorder. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They're very bold with those names, very telling with those names. They are telling you what they're doing. They're not hiding joint tenant that you're a tenant. They're not hiding tenant in common, that you're a tenant. They're not hiding these things. And if you use FRNs on a deed and you use these things that belong to them, there's already been Supreme Court cases that have determined that that deed is now up there and they are a party to the transaction, which means they have a say in that transaction. So very respectfully, I'm being towards you as I say, we need to pull our cars, our houses, our guns, our children, everything from the public to the private. Why? Because God will protect you in the private. And the private does not mean you come out of a church. Stop it. Coming out of her, my people, does not mean you're coming out of the Catholic Church. You rascals, know-it-alls. Okay, so every company, meaning corporation masquerading as a country, has an SEC registration, and all the people's equivalents, the citizens known as birth certificates, known as corporations, are registered in the SEC. I just did a video last weekend, and live on the video, I showed the guy where Canada is registered as a foreign government on the SEC. Why would they be on the SEC? So they can register the birth certificates that are the citizens, the corporations, and they make everybody believe that that is them in persona, identity. Go read those in Black's Law. Persona, identity. And you're going to start understanding that you're holding offices. So you want to be private. You want your guns to be private, your house to be, you want your crypto. You want to purchase crypto with your foundation. You want to get crypto with into a hard wallet that was purchased by your foundation. That would be the ideal. That's not necessary, but it would be the ideal. Ultimately, you do want hard wallets, and you do want them with a provable transfer and donation of all your crypto and all your assets into one of those hard wallets that is owned by the foundation. Those are ways that you become tax exempt. Guys, they're going to tax everything. They're going to tax the future value of your property, and whether it's in with Trump or in 4 years or Trump gets assassinated, I don't know. They're going for a future basis of value of your property. Now they want to get paid today 25% tax. It's a capital gains, unforeseen capital gains tax going after the people that even own their homes outright. They're going to have to refi, and they're going to have to take this cash and pay an unforeseen capital gains year after year after year, meaning you will never, ever own your home. This is how they are going to try to steal the wealth of the people. And major portion of the wealth is capital, is retirements, is your assets, like your home, your cars, those tangibles, your property, your lands, your rentals, your whatever. They want it all. And you can simply donate all of that to foundation, a foundation or foundations, and you can avoid unforeseen capital gains by doing the deed right and putting it in the foundation. It takes it out of their jurisdiction. Mm, mm, mm. Middle finger, if I ever did that to somebody, I feel it. I want to. I really want to, but I'm not going to do it. I want to give it to them. That big fat middle finger. I know I failed as a Christian right now. Calm down, everybody. It's all right. I'll repent right after this show, I promise. It's cool. Bernard, you got a middle finger. That there is funny. Yeah, hey man. Hey, that means I love you. The fourth finger. My brother did that. We would get in trouble for doing the middle finger when we were kids, and my brother would be all, give me the fourth finger. He's all, it means I love you, bro. And I feel, oh, I'm gonna give you some love later, man. I'm like, dude. Anyway, that's now you're getting on my private side. Yeah, this is one of the more professional shows I've done, ladies and gentlemen. Just roll, man, roll with me. Anyway, I'm gonna be over in the Q&A answering questions. Um, I do want to answer a question before we kind of get into the narrative of questions because there's a lot of questions on how to operate without a social, and I've answered this a lot, but um, post state citizenship, meaning you got your state citizenship, you are now living it out. So let me ask you a question. If you lived according to God's word, would you be in debt? No. Would you have means? Yeah, you would. If you didn't pay a dime to the whore and you were able to save all that money that you grew up paying in taxes, would you not own your house outright by now? Yep, you would. If you knew how they were playing the game and taking and stealing stuff from us by the recordation style of a deed or by whatever, like a truck being an MSO versus a certificate of title, would you not be more wealthy? Of course. Okay. So in our minuscule of minds, people want to think that you can't live without a social. I most assuredly say you can't. Sometimes it requires a little bit of help, a little bit of thinking, a little bit of process, a little bit of foresight, but there are definitely ways to do it. I've gotten apartments. I could take over home loans, all of that without a social. You just have to be creative and inventive. Part of the process of being a broker, licensed broker, um, would be an assumption that I hold a license. I hold a license in the wallet, but the name on the license doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the state. It's the BC. Yeah, I got a job called broker. I'm holding the office of a job called real estate broker for the state of California. Doesn't mean I am a broker. I know it's word and word play. I know you're like, what's the difference? Don't worry about it. You'll think it through later. But I am not a broker. I hold an office that says I am holding the office of a broker. Does being a vice president mean you are a vice president? No, it means you've got an office position called vice president. So it's a tad bit different. And I'm wanting to help you reflect upon this because when you're filling out applications where the birth certificate is on the application, where you have an all capital letter Kelby Smith on the application, it is absolutely okay to put a social security number on it and sign the application with the word buy in front of your name and put beneficiary at the end, or just use non-assumptive or reservation on the application to let them run the credit to do whatever is needed to get you into the apartment, and then have them place the apartment in the name of a foundation, or just say, here's a bunch of money, put it in hold and give me a contract under the name of the foundation to exist in this apartment, which is something I personally have done and did and lived in for a couple of years. So I know it's doable. And at the end, I had to pay some fine for damage in the apartment. They took it out of the larger deposit and they gave me back the balance difference, and we went on our separate ways. So I'm saying this to you guys because you can absolutely live without a social security. And if you have to, just don't run the credit, meaning don't use it for credit. In my opinion, you don't need to, you're not ever buying a house again unless you're doing it on the private side where you're taking over a note that's 3, 4, 5%. You're not going to be out there buying a house. The average person is not going to be out there buying a house at $2 million and soon 3, 4. I think real estate is going to continue to rise up with the reverse inflation because of the dollar values decrease. And you're going to see them walking in BlackRock, State Street, and they tried to get, and this is the thing. Like, are they really going to let Trump in? Do they have those controls in play? I think they do. I don't want to put money on it yet, but they're already talking like they're not going to let Trump in. Now, does Trump have the people behind him? Oh yeah, he has. I think the whole element of the first insurrection and locking people up for multiple years was to put fear in you from really doing an insurrection when it was actually needed. You got to remember something. When tyranny exists, it is not against, listen to me very carefully. I'm being very careful with my words. The Declaration. As a matter of fact, the only thing that I am going to do is read you the Declaration. It's going to make me an insurrectionist, maybe. All right. So, for all the people out there that are going to have a problem, all you liberals, just put on your earbuds right now. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, again, God's being introduced, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, not inalienable, unalienable, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that to secure these rights, governments, corporations, are instituted among men, deriving their just powers by the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Mic drop. So does that mean it is your right to throw a congressman who's violating his oath of office in the trash can? Absolutely. Does that do anything? Not really. You just ruined a $3,000 shoot and pissed him off, and. So what is abolishing government? What is it? What is the Second Amendment for? Let's read it. I just want to read the Second Amendment to you guys. All right. All you libtards, calm down. You know, being a liberal isn't necessarily bad. Um, hold on. Everybody calm down. Trying to make sure I got an actual copy. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. What is a state? The right of the people, right after it says state, to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So if the government who took an oath to uphold our God-given unalienable rights, which keeps them in office, that oath, and they go against that oath and create laws to take away guns from people or the right to bear arms, saying it is not their right, they are in violation of their oath of office to the Constitution, and hence do not deserve and cannot perform in the function or capacity of what they do for a living, which is serve you, because they're in violation of it. What's happened is this was created for a state citizen. And what's been determined already in law that a U.S. citizen is not entitled to the Bill of Rights. Hello. This is why all of you need to come out. All of you are got jobs that are keeping you in form and function a prisoner. One's called a taxpayer. One's called a voter. One's called a driver. One's called a U.S. citizen, and more. You know what I mean? They've created these positions and titles to which you say, that's me. I want this job. I want to I want to use my social security number on every application for a job. I want to fill out a W-2 saying I'm a taxpayer, or excuse me, a W-9 saying I'm a taxpayer, or W-4 I'm a taxpayer. I want a contract. I want all these contracts. Why? Because they're awesome. It lets me drive when I'm 16. See, they contract with you unconscionably using adhesion contracts that are actually trusts, self-executing trusts. And then you become an adult and you don't do anything about it. And then it re-ups and you sign again. And now you're an adult signing away consent once again. But you can drive at 16, fight in a war at 18, but can't drink until 21. I don't get these things. I think you should be able to drink when you're 7. Wouldn't have any alcoholics. They'd all think it's no big deal. I'm serious. That's just my opinion. Unless you got alcoholics raising alcoholics, that's a whole different thing. I think the more that you give people the opportunity to have something and share something and make it not a big deal, it becomes not a big deal. Like my dad's 244 Magnums, fully loaded, in holsters, bullets all the way around the holster. I thought that was the awesomest thing growing up and seeing. My dad pulled me in, took a gun out, fully loaded, so big, this big, 44 Magnum. Oh my, I don't even know what kind of gun it was. I could barely hold it. It was like the heaviest thing in the world and scary. But he let me hold it. He showed me how to load it, unload it, and basically how to shoot it. And he said, if I ever wanted to play with it, I could play with it anytime I want. Just get him to help. And that took all of the element off the table. The second time, my dad showed me how to take a shot. I said, I could do that. It's no big deal. We were watching a movie or something. Oh, my dad said, okay, you could do a Boilermaker, huh? I watched them thinking it was cool, dropping a shot in a beer. Guess what? It made me hate Boilermakers. My dad was kind of smart, and dumb at other things. but he was kind of smart at some things. And it really got me not to want to drink that. I never wanted to drink a Boilermaker again because I dropped the shot in a full beer and downed the whole thing. And I was 12 years old. Mistake on my part. Anyway, I'm just saying there's things that we could do to teach our children how to live right. And this is what we need to do. We need to go back to the things to which in our generation we're missing. So forgive me if you don't agree. I don't care. This is my life. This is what I came down to. Now I have guns all around me at all times. I have guns everywhere. And it's for a very specific reason. I think we need them. I think there's a security issue in this nation, especially in California, with the type of people that are leading the DA's offices in Orange County, especially LA County, but he just got ousted out of LA County. But when you can go to somebody's house, hold them up and rip them off and leave and no charges are ever done, you're going to do that. And in our neighborhood, it started happening in Newport Coast, almost 100 robberies, and to the point where they shot and killed the robbers coming into the guy's house. It was the second time they showed up at his house at 4 a.m. Masked as security. The guy opens his door, but he was ready. And they started charging, and he killed 3 guys. The fourth one ran. The third one was outside of the door. The 2 that he killed were inside the house, and the third one went to the hospital later, died. It's a true story. All witnessed on a ring cam of one of our friends down the street. You know what the sheriffs did? Sheriff said, "You're lucky that you shot all 3 of them on the inside of the house. Because if you would have shot one on the outside of the house," and so they made their report, they picked up the third body inside the house, not outside, and that's not what the ring cam said. So I don't know why, when it's your land, why you got to wait for somebody to enter into the house. I'm not down on that. Judge me by 12 rather than carried by 6. Those are my rules. I'm going to live by my rules. I'm going to protect my family. I'm not going to let somebody come through that front door prior to me loading them up. If I see guns, I have every right to shoot somebody. I'm not going to look for the second guy who's charging, whether he's got a gun or not. It's getting so ridiculous now that, you can't protect yourself anymore by design. Well, I'm telling you right now, we win in the end, and we need to keep fighting. Okay. I already know how this game ends. I know that all of these guys are going to be running like you wouldn't believe into the rocks and caverns, trying to hide their faces from God who will judge them. I already know this is coming down. And I already know how it's going to go down. There's some variable things that we're going to play through and watch as we grow together financially, physically, morally, spiritually. But we're called to be free. And that Second Amendment doesn't protect you if you're holding a job called U.S. citizen. It just doesn't. And that's a fact, Jack. That's a Supreme Court ruling, not Kelby saying an opinion. It just is. So I want you guys to clear that up in your head real quick. So you need to come out. It means quit the corporation, quit the job, stop worrying about, oh my God, the IRS is going to come after me. No, they're not. 14 years HISadvocates has been doing this. Nobody gets door knocks. Why? Because this is how the system works. They had to build an unlawful, illegal, not fully disclosing IRS with a revocation of election built into the code, letting anybody out that desires to be out. And yes, HR departments don't understand this. Why? Because they are not educated, and it's very difficult to get somebody to understand how to properly place an exempt W-8-BEN, whatever it may be, with your status and standing as a state citizen and being employed. You're not taxable. And so those are things that we're going to get through in the next few years. They're not things that are easily able to get through right now. But operating without a social, stop it, guys. Stop. Use your cash, use your brains, contract with it properly. You can go and apply for something, meaning like an apartment or whatever that you may need as you utilizing the social. Just do the application right. but don't go out for credit. Don't go out and leverage credit. You're a part of the system. I'm not saying it's illegal. It may be considered immoral to God that you're still playing in the system, letting them make. See, when you go get a loan, they are prepaid the amount of the loan. You're helping the whore. When you you use a credit card and not a debit card, you're prepaying that transaction to the bank and then you pay them again. You're enriching the whore, the system, the structure. And you're not supposed to be a debtor to anybody. And I get it. Robert Kiyosaki, debt, 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 debt. I got 5,000 apartments, debt, debt. He's going to get trapped. There's coming a time where these people that are debt loaded are all going to get trapped. Everybody that's debt loaded and hits a financial crisis like we're coming up, they're all in trouble. All of them. So I just want to say that to you guys as you're thinking about this. First question. So we requested our vendors to change their mailing address and to go to the UPS box in the name of our foundation for the most part, and they have complied. However, for the month of October, we received some mail not addressed properly, such as our renewed driver's licenses and our car license tabs. These are 4 pieces of mail were addressed to our UPS box and our first and last names, and did not have the foundation name. We also received a few pieces of mail from our banks, and that did not have care of our foundation on the second line, but did have our first and last names in the first line. Being that we received the mail, will this cause a problem? And if so, how do we correct it? So, this is the standard question of questions, Belinda, because most people are dealing with what you're dealing with. Couple quick thoughts. Do another notice of removal of the office of the person. Do a notice and demand to the bank that you have a mail service going through this foundation, and that they need to make sure it goes care of the name of the foundation, as that foundation is bringing you all your personal mail, that you do not receive personal mail. Secondly, you can take the licenses out, open the mail, take the licenses out, and seal the mail up with your letter inside, return to, your notice and demand letter inside, and stamped, return to sender, no such person exists at this address. You get what you want out of it, and you're also creating the contract that you wish to have once again, and their department receives return to sender, no such person exists, and has to do something with that. And the reality is, when they open it up, they're going to see that you have a mail sender that you're trying to send things through. It needs to come in the name of the foundation. And you can just put the UPS store at the bottom, that letter of the UPS store at the bottom, meaning letter designed by you to them, and then just make it from, not you, but from the store. And it doesn't matter, because the store is putting all of your foundation mail in your mailbox. So that's what you want them to understand, is that all mail needs to come to the foundation. And it's always the banks and it's always the public franchises playing the game because they know the game. So just keep working it out. But doing another removal of the office of the person shows intent and corrects the record at any time. Not sure how to fill out a W-8-B-E-N correctly. No problem. Just fill it out as best as you can. We do have samples that we can give you on the living in the private. How do we donate our crypto to the foundation? You make a record and you transfer it to a wallet that was purchased by the foundation. What is the name of the recommended hard wallet? Okay, so guys, this is an important question. When you're purchasing a hard wallet, I've changed my mind in where and how to purchase. You don't want to purchase a hard wallet from a third party like Amazon. You want to purchase a hard wallet from the person that created the wallet. So buy it from Trezor.io, Trezor.io. It's an internet website, or you can buy it one from Decent, the letter D, CENT. Those are the wallets that I would have. You want to get 2 of them, but you buy them direct from the manufacturer and have them shipped to your foundation. And you always want 2. So if you lose the one, you can come back in an hour, not 3 days. It's very critical. So people aren't trying to hack you for 3 days. So buy two. If the company refuses to refund me for products they still owe me, can I file a notice of tort claim and fee schedule against them? If so, what is the administrative procedure? On products that they owe me. Cameron, I don't really address those types of questions. There's all kinds of remedy that you could do. If it were me, I would simply bring them into a small claims and do it that way. That's actually it for the questions over here. So if you guys got any questions, keep posting them into the Q&A, not into the chats. So take your question on the chat if you got one and post it to the Q&A, please. So we can have them in uniform. Let me go over to the YouTube side. And there we go. That's funny. If they tokenize, okay, no question, no question. All right, let's go here. In response to the doctor's license and tabs, we no longer have the original envelopes to return our licenses to the Secretary of State. In response to the driver's license and tabs, you don't need to worry about that. Just do another removal of the office of the person when you are completely done with the living in the private program. Now that I have a foundation, do I still need my LLC, or can I dissolve the LLC? I don't know why anybody would use an LLC outside of the need for a license. Like if the license is being held by the LLC, I don't know why anybody would need to keep it, because you can do everything you can do through an LLC in the private. Who do we call to purchase XRP with y'all? Just go submit a support ticket on hisadvocates.org, hisadvocates.org, and submit a support ticket. We'll give you a name and number of a company that has helped quite a bit of people, and they've done a very reputable job, and they don't steal your crypto. That's a very important thing to consider. What about NanoX? NanoX is great. I have an MSO for my vehicle, but I've chosen not to get tabs. Good for you. I have an exempt plate on my vehicles. What are your thoughts on this? It's a little bit scary if you're a woman. It's a little bit scary if you're a guy. But there's nothing they can do. They can pull you over, harass you, and they're going to find out that ultimately they have no jurisdiction over that vehicle, that car. And anytime, and I've even heard of, because they're ignorant, I've heard of once or twice where they will tow the car, and that's where you need to run an administrative process on them and show them how much you're charging them for towing a vehicle that they do not own. They don't have right to do that on vehicles they do not own. They only have a right to do it with vehicles that are registered in the state of California. So ultimately, they're going to owe a lot of money. And so but do you want to go through all that? I mean, those are all questions. I think eventually we're all going to have to go through all that, as they're going to try to make us drive electric vehicles. They're going to try to force us to do things we don't want to do. How do I move my existing business under my foundation to privatize it? Dissolve my license, then create a business name using my foundation EIN. We gave you docs with your foundation that would help you transfer the assets of the foundation or the assets of the LLC to the foundation. We also gave you a doc to close the LLC with the Secretary of State. So it's all included with the docs you got with your foundation. So go back to look at what was posted. And if you don't have those docs, just ask for those docs and they'll get them posted for you. What stops the county from selling a tax deed on land the foundation is no longer paying taxes on? So the foundation is the owner of the land. My question is what does the deed look like? Because potentially nothing, but they have no jurisdiction over a foundation, which is why they would never be able to bring it into court. It would be private side lien sale that they would try to effect. And then they would have to do an eviction, which is all those things would be contestable. But I would like to look at the deed before easily answering that. The bottom line is, what did you do to not get to become a taxable person with the county recorder? Just because you're a foundation doesn't mean they know you're a tax exempt organization or agree with the fact that you're a tax exempt organization. So it would have to be a well done administrative process proving that you are in fact a tax exempt organization and that you've done the proper steps to remove the tax to the property from the APN rolls, or showing that the property was tax exempt. And because you can't just put a property in the foundation name and think that they're going to automatically stop taxing you and therefore not be able to sell the property. It's ludicrous. You got to think through. I'm not saying that's what you did. I'm just saying you got to think through all the elements, and all the elements is this a right? Is the deed been done right? Did I do proper notice? Did I let them know I was tax exempt, and how? Did I take care of their form by uh, putting on their form C explanatory statement, C explanatory statement, C explanatory statement, and attach the letter showing the exempt organization and why, meeting their needs of having the form filled out? There's a lot of things that need to be addressed in your question. What is the best vehicle to use for taking equity out of your home? What is the best bank, refi, HELOC, HEA, reverse mortgage? I prefer not to increase my interest rate. Thanks. Um, what is the purpose of taking the equity out? Um, it would be a refi at a super low interest rate, but you're not getting those anymore. A HELOC, um, they're going to jam those up soon. Reverse mortgages are high interest rates. Um, if it were me, I would do a private side home equity with a friend that would be willing to loan you at a 6-7% interest rate and give them a first trust deed if you don't have any existing first, um, against the property. And that way you have negotiating ability and you keep a low interest rate and you make your payments to your friends versus a bank. That's what I do. There's a lot of people out there that have money that are constantly looking for secured ways to make a good, decent interest rate. And that's a good, decent interest rate secured. Is it possible to acquire an MSO for a used car? Yes, it is. There's people out there doing it. I've seen them charge about $500 and they actually get a certified copy from the uh, creators. And what to do with it from that point is a different thing. How to unregister, and those things are two different questions. And that's something I don't really deal with. Will you be posting this recording? Yes. It's on YouTube Live. It'll be on YouTube after I'm done with this, and you can rewatch this. It'll also be posted to hisadvocates.org, hopefully in the next 24, 48 hours. Now that I bought land, you see through the foundation. How then do I need to think through all the elements to show I am tax exempt? That's a question like this. I've asked and answered it already on this call, but not in depth. I've done it on several calls. It is not something that's easily answered because everybody is different. The county recorders have a different level of fight, but it is obviously done in an administrative process, and I explained a little bit earlier. But that is a very, very long answer because the variables are huge, and they are going to fight. They're going to want to keep the property in the county recorder so that you're being taxed. The next thing is if you lose that fight, just pull the property out of the county recorder, and that's simply selling it and not recording the new deed and closing out the account as the seller. Whole nother conversation. Next question. Right, but if it's private unfiled deed, how do you get it removed from the tax roll? So you're going to have to put that in the public somewhere and serve them with constructive notice that a deed has transferred the property into a tax exempt organization and that the deed will not be recorded in the local county. And that's it. Now you're going to be hanging out and they're going to be going, okay, but the person you bought it from would have to close the account with the county recorder. Otherwise, it's an open account. So they're going to presume that the old owner still owns the deed at the county recorder. So you have an unrecorded counter deed, is what it's called. Even if it's a warranty, it ultimately becomes a counter deed because you're not presenting it, you're not giving it to them, you're holding it. And so the old deed holder, whoever's on the house, would have to serve notice and close the account to pay on taxes. They're going to say, give us a copy of the deed transfer. They're going to say, there's no requirement for me to give you a copy of the deed of to which it was transferred. It's just a fact. One of the questions on the broker's exam, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, there is no requirement for a person to record a deed in the county recorder. There's no requirement. So what are the ramifications? What are they just going to come and steal your house? No, they can't. There's certain things they have to do. You know, they can't just compile and raise tax. No, tax. The only reason why you have a tax is you're getting a benefit of a recordation. You're getting trash. You're getting maybe water. You're getting maybe fire and police protection. That is the only reason why they can tax a counter deed or an unrecorded deed. They can't tax anything that is not receiving a benefit. The thing is, did you serve them with closing the account and then maybe put it in the public over here and say, I'm not receiving the benefit of the county and nor am I recording my grant deed into the county recorder. And therefore, we are exempt of taxation, not for expressly the tax exempt purposes alone, but for the fact that we're not receiving any benefit from the county. Go pound sand. Revocations and real estate. I don't know what you mean by that. Bought land and the foundation sellers would not sign the deed that you sent me. It's pretty normal. Now what do you do to assert my non-taxable situation? Again, I've already addressed those questions on a large scale in a lot of other videos and also on this one. You, number one, you didn't record the deed that you wanted to record, or is it recorded? And now if it is recorded, or you have a deed that is it in the foundation name now? Is it, there's a ton of questions that are going through my mind as you make that statement. So this isn't, and this is why we don't support this we support the product to get your property and put in the name of the county, or put in the name of the foundation done private. But we're not saying to you guys, listen to me very clearly. We're not saying to anybody this is going to exclude you immediately from taxation. We're not saying this is going to exclude you from federal government or state government or county government oversight over you. We're saying by law and the legal definition, it does. But there is a fight that the county, and this is the reason why the county switched out with the lenders. This is the reason why old school deeds were the way that they are or were. And this is why they did what they did with the new school deeds. They're trying to trick everybody into jurisdiction and compliance and forever payments. That's the bottom line. And if you have a deed that's put into the county recorder and it's vested as a joint tenant, and you used Federal Reserve notes and you used a legal description, the property belongs to the state. It doesn't belong to you, or belongs to the bank. It doesn't belong to you. And the state has a vested interest in the property, period. So there's all those precursor questions I would have in relation to what are you trying to do? How did you do it? What kind of deed did you use? What is currently recorded? And then I would suggest, hey, if you need a consult, go for it. It's not that much to pay for a consult to get legal advice or non-legal expert advice, whatever you want to call it, to help you to understand what to do. But those are questions that are hour-long questions, because what if this and then this? What if this and then this? You can't possibly give a generic answer to a question like that. It would be doing you a disservice. So I don't know enough to answer your question. Can you assist through a VIP membership? Yeah. Answering basic questions, we can. Going deep, I would recommend a consultation. It gives you an hour for $295. It will give you an hour to answer or get questions answered the way that you need them answered, I would think. But there's all kinds of ways to help yourself. The bottom line is I'm trying to do it for free here, and I have answered to every extent possible to help people, but people are always trying to get off the tax rolls and they're always trying to get out of paying taxes. And I'm down. I get it. But these guys are criminals. Okay. I'm saying it the way that it is. They have defrauded the nation of their wealth. And this is one of the ways that they did it. Right in front of us. They changed the deeds, they changed the vesting, they changed the language from meets and bounds land to legal description BS above the land territory, and they made everything to be something they control. So it upsets me, but we can't just sit there and just give blanket answers on questions to people regarding a fight that we don't know the way that you entered the ring, and we don't know the level of the fight of your opponent. So I'll do my best in answering questions, but I just got to tell you, I'm not adverse to answering questions, but if it takes an hour to answer your question and go through in detail what it would take to get it accomplished, it would be best served if you did it through a consult. That's all we're saying. Because to ask us to go attorney level, and attorneys don't even know what I'm telling you. Attorneys are the biggest fraudsters on the face of the earth, and when you become represented, you've already lost. So you're asking somebody who's done this for people before and had success at this, and have a lot of people in the middle of the fight that we're consistently helping. But we can't have a product around it. And if I were to create one, it'd be a hefty, big product with enough in reserve to support somebody, so I can hire outside professionals that I know would smoke these guys to be able to get it to next level. But everybody wants to do this on the private. I would just suggest getting your deeds recorded, doing it right in the name of the foundation, doing the vesting right, and making sure you're doing meets and bounds, getting all the elements, including a grantee signature, which if you don't have all those elements, you don't own anything. But with the grantee signature, vesting done right, meets and bounds, all of those elements will be perfected. But listen, I have never said to you guys this is an automatic guarantee way to get out of property taxes. But legally and lawfully, you shouldn't have to pay them. That's a fact, because you are a tax exempt organization in full compliance and ownership recognized by them, recorded in the county. You feel me? Does that mean they don't want to fight you for it? Of course they want to fight you for it. They want your taxes. They want your money. Of course. Nobody's going to be able to just sit there. You go to an attorney with this, 10, 20 grand out of pocket retainer just to talk to you to get this thing resolved. And then they're going to say there's no way you can do it after taking all your money and spending a year of your time. It's the same in the foreclosure realm. It's the same everywhere. Attorneys are going to do that. At least what we're doing is we're giving you the education to put a properly recorded deed in place to know that if you have a house free and clear with no encumbrances and you get this deed done, you can do it whether you have encumbrances or no encumbrances. But if you do a deed with no encumbrances and you get this properly recorded, you by far are sitting on a position of allodial because of the style to which you have a deed. Period. And I'm saying that with professional experience in seeing thousands of deeds and understanding what the law is pertaining to those words. meets and bounds, those words, legal description, those words, joint tenants, those words, tenants in common, those words, fee simple. You can have a deed recorded on the public side and own nothing, or you can have a deed recorded on the public side and own it all. Now, getting out of the taxes is a whole nother element. I think, and trust me, I want to see a full package being created and done. And we have worked through many things with many people on getting a package done so that they would have their house free. But the reality is everybody's different. So if you've got your deed done and you've got it recorded, you're 90% there. But the other 10% is not something we're just saying, hey, you doing this is going to get you this. It doesn't. It makes your home private, gives you protections that you never had before. Now get it out of the tax rolls on your own and make the fight happen. Go find people that'll support you on an administrative process and make it happen. There's all kinds of ways to get it done, but it's a fight, period. MT requires a transfer certificate to be filed. I'm sorry, I don't remember the last part of what we were talking about to understand what you mean by that. Sorry. Would we still prefer to get a allodial title when purchasing investment properties on the property side? Every grant deed recorded in the style to which we have recorded in is a recordation, and therefore as allodial as you're ever going to be, because you're in a tax exempt organization on land under fee simple, which is, go read the definition of fee simple, with absolute title and tenure, with the ability to dispose of the land as you wish. That is as allodial as you're going to get. And the county can't say anything. County can't tell you that you need to have permits for this, permits for that. Why? Because you are able to dispose of the land as you wish. That's what fee simple is. It's as allodial as you're going to get in these days. There is no vesting called allodial title, by the way. Allodial title is something some guru in the past just said to make people feel they actually have free and clear, complete, and it's true. But then patents came along, then fee simple came along, and in the nature of what we're doing, fee simple is equivalent to allodial title, which is my point. I'm following the directions given after paying G for the LLP, living in the private, paying G. Not clear. Sorry, Elizabeth. And this is where no, I get it, Elizabeth. You're more than welcome to answer questions, but we've already addressed many of these questions before, and we've answered 2,500 of them. And so there's real estate related area in the on the website hisadvocates.org where you can actually go and just research and watch what we've done. But your questions are specific to your questions, and they're not an easy question, and they would require communication back and forth. They would require the forms, the information in front. They would require much more than a single question that would give us a single or give you a single answer. So that's more of a fit for a consultation, or that's more of a fit for something to be addressed on the back end. By the way, when you bought the living in the private, we granted you for free the grant deed for free. And so you're asking these questions relating to the living in the private, relating to the grant deed, are outside of the scope of the living in the private. So we're doing our best to help people to get them, because I want to see you get your property free and clear. I want to see everybody get their property free and clear of encumbrances, of the liability to pay taxation. It just can't be done on this format. It just can't, because you're not able to address me back and forth in a format where I can see everything in front of me and be able to help somebody all the way through it. And therefore, it would be best if somebody's really wanting to get it done. I can give names and numbers of guys that'll help you out to put you in a position where you would put the county on certain notices of the fact that you are tax exempt, and it would be for them to prove otherwise. And therefore, until that point, you'd be making payments of X amount into X escrow account until in fact they prove that they had number one, jurisdiction, number two, the ability to tax your type and style of organization. It's not to prove that you are tax exempt, it's to prove that you are, it's for them to prove you are taxable. And so even that information right there is tough to convey for a lot of people because they don't know how to convert that into a set of docs. So how am I helping you by giving you a clear answer if you don't know how to convert that answer into a set of docs? You understand? So and even if I created a set of docs, everybody's docs are going to be different. Everybody's docs are going to have this way, this way, this way of some level of some code that requires X to be done first. And then you're going to have to know how to deal with that. And so this is not an easy thing, is my whole point. I'm not trying to unencumber you or make you feel like, you know, you're not able to pull this off. I think if you've done the deed properly and it's been with a grantee acceptance, I think you're in a really good position. Hold on a sec. I just heard a doorbell. You all are going to have to wait. Give me a sec. I'll be right. All right, I'm back. Coolio. There is no clear answer, Elizabeth, because the fight is different at every county recorder. The statute is different at every county recorder. Some county recorders just flat out don't care if it's not a 501c and they see that they have some statute that's relating to it needing to be a 501c. There's nothing that makes it required to be relating to a 501c. There's no reason why we have to record the deed in the county recorder. And if we're not recorded in the county recorder, why would the county recorder be taxing us? We didn't choose the benefits of the county recorder. So why are you taxing? You understand? There's no requirement for a deed to be recorded in the county. So we have a lot of people out there in that position where they've closed the account over here and they are sitting there holding. But if you're sitting there holding, how is it that they're able to bill you for something that's done in the private and done properly? You're not taking any benefit from the county. Therefore, there's no tax. Get it? Sorry. When they tokenize all assets, how are properties held in the private foundation going to be handled? Jeff, I don't know. All I know is they have no jurisdiction over the foundation, and they have no idea who to serve on the foundation. And I don't know if they're even going to be able to tokenize those assets to which that they are clearly not the owner of. So that's a whole big, great question. I don't know. I just registered. I need to change my email. I just registered. I need to change. Just submit a support ticket. Yeah, call 844 HISadvo. 844 HISadvo, extension 705. 844 HISadvo. 844-447-2386. 844-447-2386. Are you exempt from HOA fees? No, because that's an individual contract that you elected upon purchase of the property. However, there are some people making fights with homeowners associations and getting their properties removed from homeowners associations. We're not doing that. It's just too much. You know, there's things that are easy to get done. Freeing people, easy to get done. Getting you know, the variables that they're trying to keep people and keep the taxation going, that's a whole nother element. But we're all learning, guys. You never stop learning. Any other questions? Again, I'm not addressing the comments section. I'm just addressing the questions over in the Q&A. No questions over on what's up, YouTube land? How y'all doing? Again, if you guys want to save money on your health insurance between 1,500 to several thousand a month, many of you are paying a lot. I just posted into the chat of both YouTube and here in the Zoom, um, how we can do that for you and be private and have better quality coverage than you would with Blue Cross Blue Shield. So give me a text, let us know, reach out, and we'll address any of your private healthcare needs. And if you have a small business and you want to save a ton of money on your health coverage, we do that. 100%. Average company with 7, 8 employees, we're saving 80 grand a year. 10, 15, 20 employees, between 150 and 250,000 a year. We're saving those companies on health coverage using private healthcare. So please jump in if you're interested. Give us a call and we'll help you to understand how to join and get free quote and see what is all involved. No other questions. What's up, Bernard? Any other questions? Two. Hold on. I sent an email. Will I respond? You sent me an email. Will I respond? I don't respond in emails. I ask people to post their question to hisadvocates.org support topics. I do not offer life insurance. I do not offer life insurance. I believe in life insurance, but I do not offer it. Is there any way to find out why Uphold canceled your account? Just submit a letter. I don't know. I don't know. Why would they cancel your account? I've never seen an Uphold cancel the account. What's up, Jesse? What's good? What's good and what? What's good? I don't know what you mean by that. What's good with you? Everything, man. Jesus. Um, there's a lot good with me, man. How you doing? All right, we're calling it. God bless you guys. I'll see you 2 weeks from today, Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific. And again, I'll do my best to answer questions. There's some that's too many variables involved, but there are people that we can have help you in the background to get you to be able to accomplish what you want. But um, for real estate, it's they want to steal of course they want to steal the land. Real estate's the future. It's the inevitable. People and real estate are the two most important things. They've already got the gold in their mind. They want the real estate. They want it all. And so we're by what we're doing with the deed machine, it's going to put a stopgap for a lot of these people from stealing properties. And eventually we'll get into trainings on what to do with all of these county recorders. We're not there yet. We've got a ton of people going through the process. But just know this, if you don't record a deed and you close the account on one side, there's no benefits being received and therefore no taxable obligation or liability to the person that owns that deed. And there's nothing wrong with owning a deed in the private. It's called a counter deed. Look it up in Black's Law. God bless you guys. Peace. Enjoy your